Let's do it. Hey, let's talk more work. Sorry, I touched your butt.
Did you break your hand?
Hey guys, welcome to the Pinecast, episode 6. Today we're talking about rest. Rest is the second pillar of 5 in the pillars of purpose-driven fitness. And just to recap, nutrition, rest, training, recovery, mindset. Today we're talking about rest. And also just to reiterate, this podcast is for Sacred Pine athletes. Our goal is to get vision to you, why we do what we do, what we care about, so that we can be unified and excited about what's coming up. So I'm here with my main man, Peter, the Slammer Sanger.
How you doing? Do I look?
Peter, the Sledgehammer Sanger.
Do I look with my little tiny Thor hammer? Do I look better without the wig or with the wig?
Yeah, comment below.
I kind of missed the dress though.
I'm drinking water today. Peter has chosen to stay dehydrated and not hydrate.
Oh, I got my BCAAs in earlier. I'm good.
Excited to talk about rest, but housekeeping. We had a lot of, last weekend we participated in the Titus Fit Games. It was my first CrossFit competition, and I didn't win it. In fact, none of us podiumed, but a lot of us did PR and some stuff. We did way better than we anticipated, and a great first experience. Shout out to Titus Strength and Conditioning. Already ready for next year.
It was fun. I didn't get to participate. Still rehabbing the knee, unfortunately. So I got to rest for that Saturday, but it was fun supporting our crew, seeing my main man here throwing it down.
For the first time,
He's
it was fun.
intense. So here we are, Titus Fit Games for the Pinecast. We got Matt Dawkins here doing Acronym Masquata.
Yeah, babe. Squatting like it's hot, squatting like it's hot. Stay light, Matt.
Let's go, Matt!
Yeah, go.
Come on, Matt! Come on, man!
Let's go.
Last lift right here. Get it up!
So we're live at the Pinecast. Matt's at Titus, and he's rowing pretty hard here. Give it to him, Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
There it is.
What you got to say about the podcast?
Peter is very humble in saying it, unfortunately, but let me tell you something. If you don't know this, when there's something you can't do, there's always something you can do. So go do that and get great at it. So Peter has been on a journey of many things, but I've seen his pull-up game improve dramatically. And I see him putting in the work every single day, and he's not letting injury right now keep him from the box. He's here, and he's putting in the work. So thankful for that. That's inspiring.
Arms only assault.
Come on, dude.
Is really
Flex
getting it
on
down.
him. I want to flex too. What do we have coming up? Turkey Day. Thanksgiving's coming up, but even better,
More important.
Friendsgiving is coming up. Friendsgiving is this Saturday. The sign-up board is right over here, and we need you guys to bring some food because there might be 150, 200 people here.
Looks like we need beverages at this point.
Beverages. Mike and Molly Herman, if you're watching this, we need beverages. So they do a little brewing on the side.
And your relatives won't be there, just your friends.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and you get to be here with people that you want to be here with instead of Thanksgiving where maybe you have to be around people that you don't want to be around. And then at 8 p.m. So dinner's at 6. The beer mile is at 8 p.m. And even if you don't want to participate, you don't want to miss watching the crazy people in our box put in work. So
Will there be cornhole?
there should be cornhole.
Yeah.
We actually have cornhole sets, but I don't know if we have any bags. So if you have bags, bring bags. If you have a set, bring a set. We'll have some fun. What else are we doing? The inaugural
The inaugural Sacred Pine turkey drop.
turkey drop.
I know turkeys can't fly, so we're doing frozen turkeys instead. So, you know, if you don't have a turkey to put in the oven, just look up in the sky next Saturday around 11 o'clock, and you might have a frozen turkey coming down your yard. Could be like a winning lottery.
We're committed to keeping it outside of a quarter-mile radius of the gym. We don't want to be selfish.
Just let it thaw for a couple days. You're
We
good.
also don't want any holes in the roof. Be good to go. That's gonna be fun. Turkey drop. Question for you, because it's fresh on my mind. How much sleep did you get last night?
Continuous.
Let's talk about good quality sleep. If you had a guess,
I got in bed at 11. I got up at 6. I had
potentially
about
7
4
hours.
and a half hours of sleep.
4.5 hours of sleep. What do you do?
We have three dogs that if you don't get up, they're gonna mess up. That's what it comes down to. And being that I've been doing a lot of upper body bias, like I'm just getting this like little shoulder impingement and sleeping on the one side.
Are you hugging a pillow?
No,
You
I
got
try
to take a
not
pillow,
to.
fold it over, and hug it. Why do you try not to?
Like so, stand up and does this look a natural movement if you're standing up?
No, I mean literally take a pillow, fold it in half, and hug it as you lay on your side, so that there's not too much internal rotation. Sometimes this position right here hurts me too. Always hug a pillow or my wife. So,
We'll give that a go.
hey, listen, I slept amazing last night. I went to bed at 9:30, and I woke up at 8. And I at least 7 to 8 good hours of sleep in there. I did wake up at 3 once with my son, who didn't want to go to sleep, and but I went back to sleep. I mean, 45 minutes later, went back to sleep. I woke up this morning and I felt fantastic. I haven't gotten that much sleep in a while, so I woke up this morning at 8. My daughter ran into the room and she said, "Daddy, Mommy said that you would give me some applesauce and change my poopy diaper." So I got to
I'm
do
sure
that.
she did say that.
She also said, "Daddy, you're not wearing any clothes." I said, "That's right, babe.
You want to
I'm
look
not wearing any
naked?
clothes." But I came in today, and you know, and I did one of the Sacred Pine benchmarks. It's called the 95-59. It's for time, 9 deadlifts at 315, 50 feet handstand walks, 100 sit-ups, 50 feet handstand walks, 9 deadlifts. So 5 components in one for time, 5 minutes, 39 seconds.
That beat me by 3 minutes.
I tied Eli the Boulder Bohan, and everybody's getting nicknames today. And here's the physical challenge today. Beat my time. I'll give you a bag of protein. You got a week. How about that? I said 5 fit aids earlier, but I'm saying a bag of protein. Beat my time, and I will give you a bag of Ascent protein. You pick your flavor. We got 2 bags left. You got between chocolate and cappuccino.
There's nothing I can do about the handstand walks.
It has to be 315. It has to be a handstand walk. It has to be true sit-ups, which means you have, in our box, you have to touch the ground above your head, and then you actually have to touch the ground beyond your toes. 539. Beat 539, I'll buy you a bag of protein. That's the physical challenge.
It kind of reminds me of like the old 96er, Great Outdoors John Candy. You know, he had to eat that 96-ounce piece of steak, including the
my
grizzle
God.
at the end. But he got it down. He didn't have to pay for it.
Hey, sleep was supposed to be our segue into rest. We're talking about rest today.
All right, Becky, we're at the Pinecast here talking about rest this week.
Talking about rest?
Talking about rest.
Fundamental. I like rest a lot. Don't hurt yourself.
That's
Yeah.
important. What are you gonna do to rest, Chip? How many beers are you gonna drink?
3 bourbons, 2 Benadryls,
Ooh,
and
that
hope
sounds
the
like
babies
an
don't
ambulance
wake up.
ride.
That's prescribed workout right there.
Yeah, I hope the babies don't wake up.
Sounds like an
Back to you,
ambulance
Talking
Matt.
about rest, and you know, but just to give you a little context, it is very, very important. But we also understand when it comes to rest, it's probably the least favorite, least popular thing to talk about when you, especially in CrossFit, right? Constantly very high intensity functional training, get in the gym, grind, let's go, like, you know, putting in the work, right? And what we see is this work ethic translates into professional environments. It translates into a pretty cool social life. We are community based, but when it comes to time to talk about rest, not a popular topic to talk about. And you know, many of you who maybe you go to church, right? It's kind of like talking about money in church, right? It's like we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk. Next subject, right? But we wanted to make it easy for you today to digest, and so REST is an acronym. I'm an acronym guy. It helps me remember things. So REST, we have 4 things we want to talk about. We might have a few tips on the back end, but let's just jump into the first one. R. So REM. What does REM stand for, Peter?
Random eye movement.
Which is weird to talk, like, what does that mean? What does random eye movement even mean? What is it? I don't know. Why does that?
I know it was a rock band in the 80s. I mean, I'm gonna have to defer.
So random eye movement is a sign for a human being that they are actually into quality sleep. Random eye movement. If you've ever looked at somebody deep in sleep, you can actually look at their eyelids and you can see eyeballs shifting around in random patterns. Random eye movement. When we did the fire hydrant episode, we talked about a study that Harvard did not too long ago. They took 10 students in relatively good health, and what they did was they forced them to sleep no more than 4 hours a night for a week. And the study may have intended to go longer, but what they discovered 7 days in was that all 10 students were pre-diabetic. That's what happened in 1 week of 4 hours or less of sleep, and likely that could be attributed to self-medicating, right? Increasing their Red Bull intake, their Monster energy
That sounds
drinks.
like finals week at colleges all
Yeah.
across the country.
Sure does. How many students are going pre-diabetic during exam week? It's a real thing, right? But here's the cool thing. So that was after a week. Immediately following that week, for 2 days, they were forced to get full nights of rest, and after only 2 days, they returned to their normal state of health. That's all it took. So REM represents quality sleep. Quality sleep matters for way more than just training. We're going to talk about that later, but if that's not enough sauce for you, right, to understand the research backs the reality that nutrition and rest maybe should be on the same playing field. If you've ever seen the back of my shirt, right?
It's a pyramid.
Right? It's the pyramid of fitness. The foundation is nutrition, but maybe right alongside nutrition should be rest, because you can eat the best diet in the world and yet get no sleep and potentially see more harmful, damaging consequences than if your diet was poor but you got a full night's rest. That's what the research suggests. So that's what we're going to start with today, the research. So that's REM. Next up, we're going to talk about energy. And I'm going to defer to Peter to talk about energy. Why do we say energy, Peter?
Well, if you get a good night's sleep, you're supposed to have the natural energy to power yourself through the day, through the workout. And the energy itself isn't for necessarily the workout. It's for how you're gonna proceed for the rest of the day. You know, for me, it's a psychological thing first, a physical thing second. If I don't have the psychological aspects of myself working first, the physical is just worthless as it is. So, you know, you want to rebuild your energy stores. You want your tissue repair to happen naturally. And if you're not getting enough rest, continual sleep, and you're not feeling refreshed, you're looking for external stimulus to power you through, whether it's a pre-workout, whether it's an illicit drug, which I had experience with. And so, like, within an exercise routine or within the drug itself, your body's tapping into a dopamine gland. And so it's giving you this feeling of euphoria, and there's only a finite amount of that. And you know, once you've got it, it takes a long time for it to rebuild in your system. But you're gonna want to chase it, and you want to keep feeling that high over and over and over again. And so, I probably come and work out way too much. You know, I would work out 13 times a week, and then when we were having the specialty classes, I was here 15 hours a week. And so not only is it causing...
Look at these arms, though.
Not only is that causing problems with my body,
right there.
it could have set myself up for maybe an injury at Festivus because I wasn't allowing myself to naturally heal, and so I was pushing my ligaments, my tendons to the limits, and to where it caused an injury. It's causing problems at home because I'm there too much, not there enough. So it all goes hand in hand, and it's finding that balance. And so rest isn't necessarily being idle. It's finding that threshold of activity that's not straining your normal daily activity.
And that's perfect that you said that, because you know, a lot of people might be saying, I feel like I get energy from my workouts. That's what you're getting, right? You're getting that dopamine release. You're getting that high from training, that feel-good release, right? But is that going to be sustainable in the long term if you're not also finding time to replenish your energy stores through sleep and allow your muscles to be rebuilt through rest, right? Which is perfect. That leads into our third piece, right? So REM is R, E, energy, S is sustainable or sustainability, right? And this is bigger than fitness. I think it's the first thing I want to say when it comes to sustainability and rest, because you're not just training in the course of your day, right? Showing up to the gym for the average person is 1 hour a day, right? What about the other 23 hours of the day? What about your professional life? What about your family? What about your social life? What about all these other things that many of us would say are synonymous with a great quality of life, right? You want to make sure that it's not just your training that's getting better over the next 10, 15, 20 years, but that everything in your life is improving. And the biggest sustainable piece in that is rest.
So what happens in a few years when Benaya and Priscilla say, Daddy, it's 5 o'clock, I want you to play ball with me out in the front yard. I want you to have tea with me. And you're like, oh, babe, I can't. I'm a little sore. I'm too sore from the workout today. I didn't get enough sleep last night.
This isn't hypothetical. This is really, go back 1 year in time. I'm training 3 hours a day for commonplace. What I discovered was I needed to lay on the couch all weekend. I needed to go to bed early, and there was no balance in my life. And I'm not a big subscriber to balance, but I am a subscriber to being present where you are. And I wasn't getting rest. I was getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, waking up crazy early. I was at the box crazy late. And anytime I had off, I felt like I needed to be laying on the couch, doing nothing. And all of a sudden, my wife is resenting the fact that I own a CrossFit gym. So what's the sustainable piece?
I don't have kids, but I got dogs, and they expect me to play with them. And if I don't, they will bark at me until I get off the couch, get on the ground, and throw the ball or run around the yard.
Yeah. If you enjoy this and you want to enjoy it in 20 years, rest is just going to have to be a part of the equation. That leads, I think, really well into the fourth concept, which is trust, right? So REM, energy, sustainability, and trust.
Can I go on the trust?
Yes, absolutely.
So we have a thing coming up called the Sacred Slim Down, where 10 athletes are putting trust in us to help them see some major transformation within the next 6 months. And there's going to be accountability. There's going to be all aspects of the 5 pillars, and they're going to want to, because it's a time thing, they're going to want to go full pedal to the metal, foot down on the accelerator all the way. And we need to make sure they don't do that they can't do that, and they should not do that, because it's not going to be sustainable at the end of the day. So we have to trust in us, ourselves, that we know what we're doing, helping them. They have to trust in the process, that we know consistency at the end of the day, following a plan is going to get them where they need to go. Yeah. And it's not going to get them at the end of the finish line. It's going to get them starting where they can sustain it for the rest of their life.
Instead of doing this for 6 months and then doing this the next 6 months and being worse off, we're trying to create this piece within the process, right? They've got to trust the process, that rest is a huge part of it, right? We talk about the 5 pillars, right? Rest, you could argue, is the strongest pillar holding up our journey as we're trying to improve in our fitness. But if you want to think about it even at another level, right? Like, we're talking about training and trusting the process because these people want to see a physical transformation. I'm a Christian. I know that, reading through the Bible, that God actually asks us. So if you're a Christian, if you're not, you can go ahead and turn it off, right? But if you're a Christian, you need to understand that you have been asked to work from rest, not the other way around, not rest from work. I'm a prime example. Today, I got a good night's sleep last night. I came in today and I felt freaking phenomenal, right? If I'd have just focused on the other way around, like maybe it was yesterday, I wore myself out from a bad place. One night of sleep might not have been good enough in terms of being ready for tomorrow, but I started with rest, right? I start with rest, and when you do that as a Christian, it is putting your trust in God, that you trust Him, that everything that's happening in your life right now, some things may be outside of your control, you're trusting that God has a plan for your life, right? That He doesn't need you to be awake and working like a dog 24/7. In fact, it's commanded that you rest a day. And there are far more implications than the spiritual when it comes to trusting the process. When it comes to rest, far more than the spiritual. Think about the actual physical implications of resting, and so those are the 4 pieces we're going to talk about. And there's more content. So we left 90 seconds here that I thought would be really cool on the back end of REST, just to kind of fill in some of the gaps. So it's just some advice to you guys. Peter, you have anything else that you want to add to this? Final thoughts.
Well, upcoming is the Holiday Hustle 2.0. It's a reduction from last year, and part of coming in and being part of that is showing up at the box. So you're kind of motivated to be here as much as possible, but you can only get credit for once a day. And so, more importantly, come in when you can come in on your scheduled time to come in. Do the workouts, have fun with it, but don't overtrain. Your body needs to rest. I am the prime example sometimes of overtraining. It feels good. People see me at the gym. You like the reaffirmation of the results, but then 3 weeks I haven't been able to do what I want to do, and that's more of a bummer than not being able to do it. So
that's great. And I might be opening up a can of worms, but when we talk about rest, we've talked about sleep specifically, but maybe you need to discover the way you rest best. So other opportunities to explore when it comes to rest, maybe reading a book gives you great rest. Maybe going out with a group of friends is the best way you rest. Maybe being by yourself or getting outside or listening to music, or actually, what's interesting? I've heard this said before that when you work with your mind, you rest best with your hands. So maybe it's planting plants and it's tending to a garden that's going to be the best form of rest for you, to help you disconnect from the 9 to 5, right? To help you disconnect from work and even disconnect from training every now and then. So for you, maybe what you need to do is explore all these opportunities when it comes to rest to find out, how do you rest best? And in those moments, right, understand that what you're doing is you are trusting the process, and you're creating a sustainable journey of improvement. Every now and then you might see dips and plateaus, but resting and finding the way that you rest best is what's going to set you up for success playing the long game. So,
if it's not working for you now, try something different. I've done yoga, I've tried meditating. I used to like going, and right now the weather's not the best for that, but just getting out in the ocean, in the water, and just kind of being by myself in that peaceful moment. We all have our own places where we like to be. Find a hobby that you like to do by yourself, where you don't need external stimulation, lots of noise all the time. My Weight Watcher meeting last week, what they gave out in the pamphlet was talking about sleep. They talked about finding a nightly routine that works for you, having some white noise in the background, or waves, or some kind of music, or putting out the dark out shades, or maybe using a blindfold, or something that may help assist you in a sleep if you're currently not sleeping well. Just give it a shot. You don't know how the results are going to be.
That's great. I mean, sleep is going to be one of the bigger concepts within rest. But even how do you rest during your days, right? You might spend most of your day pouring out and helping and serving and giving energy and having things that are sort of taking life, to put things throughout your day that are actually giving you life back and are oxygen for you. So figure that out. Rest. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. Next week, we are talking about training. So in a way, we're flipping it on its head, but one is just as important as the other. So excited to bring training to you.
Training is going to come from a place of rest.
Yes, we are working from rest. So take today's content, put it into practice, and it's going to set you up the best possible way for what we're going to talk about next week. So,
all right, see you then.
Episode 7 next week. Can you reach it?